Hi! I'm so glad you're back. We are on episode 2. I've done so many of these, I can't even keep track of how many episodes I've done. 2. Dose. I've done dose episodes. I hope you enjoyed the first couple episodes, or the first episode of Chicks and Salsa and Shark Detective, some of my favorites. Today we're going to talk about when I was a kid. My mom bought me almost the whole set. I wish she would have bought me the whole set. I think she probably tried because she gave me one for like every birthday, every Christmas for like a million years. And today we are going to talk about a couple of them, a couple of my favorites. They are called the Berenstain Bears books. Berenstain Bears. I love them so much. They're a family of bears and they live out in bear country and I love them so much. Today, one of the ones that we're going to do is Count Your Blessings. Double Dare is the second one. Oh my goodness, what is he daring? He looks not very nice and he's daring Brother Bear to do something not good. What do you guys do when someone dares you to not do something good? I hope you say, no, I'm not going to do that. It's hard. It's hard. So we're going to learn about what Brother Bear did today. It's a family and they start out with there's Brother Bear and then Sister Bear comes along and then later in the books they have this little bear named Honey Bear. She's so cute. She's this little bandana that she or this headband she always wears. So we're going to talk about the Berenstain Bears today. And I'm sure that some of these will come into other episodes too because I love these books so much. All right, I'll stop gushing. The Berenstain Bears, Count Their Blessings. The author and the illustrator are Stan and Jan Berenstain. It might be Berenstain. I like to say Berenstain because they're bears, Berenstain, but it might be Bernstein. I'm not sure. All right, sorry about that. Small bears get big eyes when they take off and roam and sometimes forget all the good stuff at home. Do you guys forget about sometimes your awesome toys that you have at home? Sometimes we do that, don't we? Rainbows, I love rainbows. Let's see, let's fold it. I liked the folding idea. All right. Mama, Sister Bear said one day after school, may I go over to Lizzie's house to play this afternoon? Yes, you may, said Mama Bear, but be sure not to leave a mess for Lizzie's mom, and be sure to be home in time for supper. As Mama watched Sister skipping happily over the hill to Lizzie's house, she sighed. She knew exactly what was going to happen when Sister got home. And it wasn't just when she got home from Lizzie's. It was the same thing when she got home from Anna's or Queenie's. Anna's got her own phone in her room, Sister would complain. Or Queenie's got her own phone and her own TV in her room. But Lizzie's was the worst. That was because Lizzie has the biggest collection of Barbie dolls ever. But you have a Barbie doll, Mama would say, and your Barbie has lovely clothes. But Lizzie has lots of Barbies, complained Sister. She's got high fashion Barbie and super sport Barbie, tropical Barbie, motorcycle Barbie, and just married Barbie. And just married Barbie has a whole dresser full of clothes. Then Mama usually said, please, Sister, I've heard quite enough about Lizzie's Barbie collection. It wasn't much better with Brother Bear. Of course, it wasn't Barbie dolls with Brother. It was video games for his Game Bear player. When Brother came home from Cousin Freddie's house, it was, you ought to see how many video games Freddie has. He's got Space Avenger and Rocket Rangers and Killer Coyote. And on and on and on. Mama looked around. Where was Brother? She asked Papa Bear when he came in from his shop for a tea break. Brother asked if he could go over to Cousin Fred's, he said. I told him sure. He'll be back in time for supper. There was a distant rumble of thunder. He added, there must be a storm coming. That's right, thought Mama. With Sister at Lizzie's and Brother at Fred's, there was bound to be a storm coming. A storm of complaints about how many Barbies Lizzie had and how many video games Fred had. Mama got upset just thinking about it. But as the thunder got louder and the storm came closer, she began to worry. She was about to call to have the cubs sent home when she heard them coming up the front steps. They came in the door just ahead of the rain. It didn't take long for the complaining to start. But look, They're holding hands. How cute is that? I hope all you big brothers hold your little sissy's hands. Lizzie just got equestrian Barbie, said Sister. It's brand new. It comes with riding clothes and a beautiful horse. You think that's something, cried Brother. Cousin Fred's got 3 new video games. 3! Now look, you two, said Mama. I've heard quite enough about what you don't have. It would be very nice if you would start appreciating the things you do have. It's called counting your blessings. So equestrian horse, okay? Video games. Looks like a lot of fun though. Like what? Asked Sister. Yeah, said Brother, like what? Just then, there was a big streak of lightning followed by a big clap of thunder, and the rain started coming down very hard. The cubs weren't exactly afraid of lightning and thunder, but this looked as if it was going to be a really big storm, and they were a little bit nervous. Crack! The big clouds. Big clouds. Well, said Mama, like this warm, cozy house that protects us against the weather. That's one blessing. Now it was really pouring. The wind was whipping the curtains and blowing rain into the house. Mama and Papa rushed about, closing windows. There was another lightning flash and another thunderclap. Crack! You got to get the full effect of this one. Kaboom! You know that really big lightning and thunder like that? Not the lightning, but the thunder that you hear afterward when you see that big crack. That's what the kaboom! That was a big one. And we have each other, said Mama, bringing the cubs close. That's another blessing. That's when the biggest lightning flash yet lit up the sky. It was followed by a big clap of thunder that shook the very air. Yipe! Cried Sister, jumping into Mama's arms. Help! Cried Brother, jumping into Papa's arms. And you've got a Mama and a Papa who love you, said Mama. The light started to flicker, and then after a few flickers, they went out. Have you guys ever had your lights go out when it's a lightning and thunderstorm? And you have a Papa who knows how to make a fire in the fireplace, said Papa. And soon he had a cheery fire roaring. And a Mama who knows how to cook over it, said Mama. She hung a cook pot over the fire, and soon they were sitting in the glow of the fire, sipping hot, sweet cocoa. What a blessing that was. The storm kept getting worse, and the lightning flashed brighter and brighter. Boom! Boom! The thunder crashed louder and louder. That last flash seemed awful close, said Sister. Nothing to worry about, said Papa. It was at least 5,000 feet away. How can you tell? Said Brother. I guess he asked Brother. Easy, said Papa. You see, the sound travels a lot slower than light. So when you see a flash, start counting the seconds. 1, 2, 3, until you hear the thunder. Then you just figure about 1,000 feet for each second. Just then there was a flash. The cubs started counting. 1, 2, 3. On 4, there was a big thunderclap. That flash was about 4,000 feet away, said Sister. Very good, said Papa. Outside, the storm raged on. Another lightning. But inside their sturdy treehouse, the bear family was cozy and warm. As the storm grew worse, they sipped cocoa and counted out the thunder. The counting helped. Papa explained what lightning and thunder were. Lightning was a big electrical flash that traveled between storm clouds and burned up the air. Thunder was the sound of the air rushing into the burnt space, and that helped too. Gradually the storm eased and the rain slowed and stopped and the lights came back on. The bear family sighed, a big sigh of relief. Whew. Then Sister started counting again. "What are you counting, dear?" asked Mama. "The storm is over." "I'm doing what you said, Mama." She said, "I'm counting my blessings." So while Papa set the table and Mama started supper, Sister went upstairs to play with her Barbie dolls. Sorry, that was a little low battery there. So while Papa set the table and Mama started supper, Sister went upstairs to play with her Barbie doll, and Brother tried to reach the next level on one of his video games. "You know, my dear," said Papa, "there are birthdays and Christmas is coming. Do you have any idea for the Cubs?" "I thought perhaps a just married Barbie for Sister and a couple of video games for Brother," said Mama. "What do you think?" "I think we should count our blessings too," said Papa. All right, I hope you liked it. Count their blessings. Okay, Berenstain Bears and the Double Dare. And the author is still Stan and Jan Berenstain, or Berenstain. It's probably Berenstain. When peer pressure rears its ugly head, it's easy for most cubs to be misled. Do you guys know what peer pressure is? Peer pressure is when your friends kind of push you into something that you know is probably not right. You know you probably shouldn't be doing it, but you feel kind of obligated to do it because your friends are telling you it's okay. That's peer pressure. All right. It was one of those days in bear country when everything was going so well, you just knew that any minute something was bound to go wrong. Papa Bear was off chopping wood in the forest, and Mama Bear was putting in some tomato plants. Brother Bear was working on a tangled fishing line. And Sister Bear was running up the front path as upset as she could be. "Mama! Mama!" she shouted. "What is it, sweetie?" asked Mama. They took. Sister was so angry she could hardly speak. "Oh, calm down, dear," said Mama, "and tell us what happened." Some big cubs at the playground took my jump rope, and they won't give it back," Sister said. Oh, Brother Bear looks determined. Mama wanted to hear more, but Brother had heard quite enough. He just knew it was those troublemakers, Too Tall Grizzly and his gang, bothering smaller cubs again. So off he stalked, heading straight for the playground. Not only were Too Tall and his gang still there, but Too Tall was jumping with Sister's rope. "Onesie, twosie, I love yousie," he sang in a mocking tone. "Threesie, foursie, shut the doorsie." Everyone's laughing. "That is my sister's rope," shouted Brother. "Give it back, you big oaf." "Or what?" sneered Too Tall. "Or I may have to cut you down to size," says Brother Bear, reaching for the rope. Who's bigger, though? Too Tall's a little bit bigger, huh? "Go ahead and try it," said Too Tall, keeping the rope away from Brother with one hand and holding him off with the other. "You know what they say," he added, chuckling at his own joke. "Half an oaf is better than none." When the gang joined in the laughter, Brother got angrier. He forgot about the rope and began swinging wildly at Too Tall. Have you guys ever gotten that mad? I know sometimes I get so mad. Gotta take a deep breath, right? All right. "Why don't you guys stop bothering my sister," Brother said, "and pick on somebody your own size?" "Why don't you pick on someone your own size?" says Too Tall, grinning. "And anyway, here's your sister's dopey rope back." "Huh?" said Brother, more than a little confused. "Well, thanks. I better be going now. I'll see ya." "Hey, wait a minute," called Too Tall. "I may be able to use a cub like you. You've got moxie." "Moxie?" said Brother. "Yeah, spunk, nerve, moxie." He put a big arm around Brother's shoulders. Why don't you come with us and have a little fun? The rest of the gang gathered around Brother and Brother said, I really think I'd better be What's the matter? Said one. You chicken? Another one began strutting and flapping his arms like a chicken and clucking, book, 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 book. Pretty soon the whole gang was strutting and clucking all over the place. I am not chicken, protested Brother. Prove it, said Too Tall. Come along with us for a little fun. Brother was a little nervous about joining the gang, but he certainly didn't want them to think he was a chicken. So when they scampered off into the woods, he followed. He got more and more nervous as they led him along the dangerous old quarry path, across Roaring Creek, and past Spooky Old Tree. After a few more twists and turns, Too Tall signaled to stop. When Brother saw where they were, he was surprised and pleased. Pleased means like happy. Hey, he said, this is Farmer Ben's watermelon patch. Shh, hissed Too Tall, clapping a hand over his mouth. You want to spoil our fun? It says no trespassing private property. So it says don't go on this property. This is private property. Don't go here. It turned out that Too Tall's idea of fun was to run off with one of Farmer Ben's watermelons. And as the newest member of the gang, Brother was the one who was expected to do it. But Farmer Ben is a friend of mine, he protested. And besides, it's not honest. The gang flapped their arms like chickens and clucked, book, 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 into Brother's ear. I'm not chicken, Brother insisted. Then go ahead and take the watermelon, said Too Tall. Farmer Ben'll never miss it. Brother Bear looked all around. Ben was nowhere to be seen, and it was sort of exciting to be being in the gang. I dare you, said Too Tall. Brother didn't move. I double dare you, said the gang. Brother still didn't move. Double dare you, said Too Tall and the gang. The double dare did it, ever so quietly, ever so carefully. Brother Bear crept through the tall grass and through the fence and past the no trespassing private property sign and picked out the biggest, fattest, greenest watermelon in the patch. Then he broke off the stem, picked it up, and gotcha! You thieving varmint, shouted a voice. Too Tall and his gang ran away, leaving Brother Bear holding the watermelon. Farmer Ben had been hiding in the cornfield. When he saw who it was he had by the collar, he was almost as surprised as Brother. Brother Bear, what in the world are you doing with that watermelon stealing Too Tall? He got caught, guys. He got caught. At first, Brother was so ashamed he couldn't answer, but then the whole story came tumbling out. How he got Sister's rope back, how they called him chicken, how they double dared him. Well, said Ben as they walked through his chicken yard, chickens aren't very bright, but they're too smart to do something stupid just because someone calls them chicken. I guess so, admitted Brother. Just ahead was the meadow where Ben's sheep were grazing. One of them, a large ram, took it into his head to start running, and he did, straight for the highway. Your sheep are headed for the highway, Ben, cried Brother. Don't worry, said Ben. Shep, my old sheepdog, will take care of him. Shep raced ahead and cut the sheep off before they got there. So the dog protected him, didn't he? He protected those sheep. Sheep are like that, said Ben. Follow a leader anywhere, off a cliff if that's what the leader decides. And some folks are like that too. Follow a leader everywhere he grows. Across a highway, over a cliff, to the edge of my watermelon patch. He looked at Brother, and Brother knew exactly what he was talking about. And speaking of watermelon, how about having a nice, sweet, juicy slice with me? Could we? Asked Brother. I like Farmer Ben a lot. Sure, said Ben, cutting a big center slice in half. And remember, this is a good one. Being part of a group is okay, and maybe even having a leader. But you always have to think for yourself, especially about important things like what's right and what's wrong, and what's safe and what's dangerous. I'll remember, Ben, said Brother, and thanks for the watermelon. Brother decided to head home by way of the highway. And who was waiting around the bend? The Too-Tall gang. What happened? Asked Too-Tall. Nothing much, answered Brother. We had a little talk and some watermelon. Hey, cool, said Too-Tall. Well, come on, we're going to go over to Wilder Bruins and have a little more fun. No possible way, said Brother. Yay! What's the matter? Sneered Too-Tall. You chicken? Book. Clucked the gang. Ba, bunch of sheep, answered Brother. Why don't you try thinking for yourself for a change? Book, they shouted. Ba, bunch of sheep, Brother shouted back. But the cubs' shouting was interrupted by another noise, the sound of somebody crashing out of the woods. Uh-oh. He looked a lot like Too-Tall, but was much, much bigger. It was Too-Tall's papa, 2-Ton Grizzly. I love the names. What's up? Growled 2-Ton. As a little phone call I just had from Farmer Ben about you. And, he added as he turned to the gang, if I hear about any more shenanigans, all your parents are going to hear from me. Now get on home. The gang got on home as fast as their little legs could carry them. Here's the full page. Hi, said Brother to Sister when he got back to the treehouse. Here's your jump rope. Oh, thank you, she said. However did you get it back from that awful Too-Tall and his gang? Brother shrugged. I asked them for it and they gave it back. Said Mama. You asked them for it and they gave it back just like that? Well, said Brother, going back to his tangled fishing line, not exactly just like that. All right, kiddos, I hope that you can be like Brother Bear. Sometimes we have to learn a lesson, right? Sometimes we have to get into a little bit of trouble and learn our lesson and say, I gotta knock it off. I'm gonna get caught every time. I hope you guys have the courage to stand up to anybody who tries to get you to do something that is not right. And you can say, I know that's not right. I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna probably get in trouble, right? And also because it's not right. Okay, that was episode 2 of Miss Anissa's story time. Still, I need to find a name for that thing. Okay, we'll see you guys next time.